Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you joining me from at Nkolo Mahadum Wisdom University. Today's date is Nkwo Market Day in the 11th month of the Igbo lunar calendar called Onwa Aja Ana. And today's date in the Roman Catholic calendar is 12/23, 2024. Remember, at Nkolo Mahadum, we always encourage you to use your naturally given common sense, which we call akonuche, to evaluate all the information you are getting from the time you wake up daily up to the time that you go to bed. Evaluate information with your common sense, akonuche, before you make a good decision. Also, we present lectures from Biafran and African perspectives to save you from colonial brainwashing, which you get from schools, churches, and many foreign media houses. Therefore, we present our lectures the way it concerns you and me, how it concerns Africans. That's how you should be looking at things. Therefore, join us at Nkolo Mahadum Wisdom University. Subscribe, like our lectures, comment, and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and other social media platforms. Today's lecture is, the title of this lecture is The Stampedes. The Stampedes in Ibadan, Oyo State, Abuja, FCT, and Okija in Anambra State shows poverty across Nigeria. Our topic today is that the stampedes, that is the loss of life from overcrowding in Ibadan, Abuja, Okija, shows poverty across Nigeria. And the loss of lives should have been avoided if things are done differently. You should recall that on December 18th, Wednesday, December 18, 2024, Wednesday, at an Islamic high school, Bashoro, Ibadan, 35 people were killed, 6 hospitalized, and 8 people were arrested. What led to the loss of 35 lives is about 5,000 children had gathered to receive food and 5,000 naira each. That led to stampede that was uncontrollable, and that 5 children lost their lives. At Abuja FCT, about 1,000 people gathered at Holy Trinity Catholic Church, Maitema, Abuja, on 12/21/2024, on Saturday, and to collect food, where they were about to share food to families. The Catholic Church wanted to share food to families. And in that place, about 10 people, including 4 children, lost their lives, while 8 were wounded. And then on the same Saturday, 12/21/2024, when at Okija, Anambra State, this one happened in Okija, Anambra State, when Obi Jackson Foundation was distributing rice to people. 22 people were dead and many were injured. you can calculate it. 35 plus 10, 35 that died in Ibadan, plus 10 that died in Abuja, plus 22 that died in Okija. That's a lot of human lives being lost just because they want to go and get food. Human lives should be preserved at all costs, because that's the only benefit we get by staying in this world, that you are alive. Because as soon as you die and you're put in 6 feet, that's it. So as soon as people are living in this world, they should be protected and not wasting of lives just because one wants to go and get food from a food sharing place. And so the conclusion, Nkoloma Mahadum have concluded from this incident that there is poverty everywhere in Nigeria, including Biafra land. Because sometimes you hear people say there are protests in Yoruba land, in the West and in the North, but there's no protest for hunger in the Eastern region, that is in the Biafra land of Nigeria. But you can tell from the 22 deaths in Okija that there are poverty in Biafra land. Nkoloma Mahadum want to make it clear to everybody that there are poverty in Biafra land. People are poor in Biafra land. And it is most heartbreaking that the people that died at Okija are mainly adult women who should know better. How should somebody, because of a bag of rice, lost his or her life? Isn't that heartbreaking? And so there is poverty across Nigeria, including in Biafra land. And the solutions to prevent this from occurring next time is as follows. We have to always learn from the past. There have been previous incidents that have occurred before, but we didn't learn from it. For example, 25 people died in Uke, in Anambra State in 2013. We shouldn't learn from that. We didn't learn from that. 20 people also died in Kwara during one Eid al-Fitr food distribution in 2013. We didn't learn from that. There are also other ways to organize a huge public event. You can use what we call staging areas. You can have more than 2 or 3 staging areas where people have to gather. Either you give them number there, or you bring like a paint or something to move them from one staging area to the other, while the place to receive the food is very, very far away from the staging area. And you shouldn't be in a rush to do it, finish it one day. No, the food sharing can go on for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even a week. It should be done gradually. It's not something that you will stay, gather millions of thousands of people at one location and you want to do it that day. No. So have a staging area, plan it over days. Do not just want to do it in one day. Also, the police should be invited in large numbers in such food sharing areas. The police should not be on the road collecting bribe, dehumanizing people, torturing people. On such days of food sharing, the police should be moved en masse to those locations to help to organize the crowd. In that way, no life is supposed to be lost just because you want to give them food. The next solution is government should develop food sharing centers across the country. You develop food sharing centers. You don't have to be sharing food just on Christmas Day. You share food from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. Whoever is hungry can go to that food center and collect food. That's how it's done. Also, government should redistribute wealth through provision of social security safety nets, or what we call social safety nets. How many of these families does government pay for their food every day? All these people, children and families that went to collect food, does government have a program where poor people receive certain amount of money every day for their food, or every week, or every month? Does the unemployed graduate receive any money every month for his house or for his food? So government should do more to make sure that the people are not hungry, because it is hunger that has led to the loss of these lives. Just within few days, from the 18th to 21st, we have lost almost, when you add 10 plus 22 is 32, plus 35, it's almost 67 lives lost and many wounded. That is unnecessary. That is avoidable. And that is why we at Nkolomahadum, we are pained to hear all this loss of life from Ibadan in Oyo State on the 18th of December, Abuja on the 21st Saturday of this December 2024, and at Okija in Anambra State on the same Saturday, 21st, 2024. It shouldn't have happened. Stampedes also occur in so many places around the world, but not to lose this amount of life just because you want to go and get food. That is uncalled for. And that is why Nkolomahadum have decided to present this lecture to you today, so that we can do things differently. Our people should not be dying like animals. And because we said we have to be keeping things short at Nkolomahadum, the takeaway from today's lecture is that the stampedes in Ibadan, Abuja and Okija shows that there's poverty across Nigeria. The loss of lives should have been avoided if things were done differently. Because the lives we lost on the 18th of December, 2024, at Ibadan, Oyo State, where 35 were killed, 6 hospitalized, and 8 arrested. Arresting people is medicine after death. People already lost their life. Preventative measures will have been put in place to prevent even the loss of one life. Why are they there at Ibadan? Just to collect food and 5,000 naira. 5,000 naira and food. Does it worth it? And it was 5,000 children that gathered. You cannot control 5,000 at Ibadan. At Abuja, it was only 1,000. They couldn't even control 1,000. That led to the death of 10 people when the Holy Trinity Catholic Church in Maitama, Abuja, was trying to share food to the public last Saturday. You can't even control 1,000 people. That is shameful. And at Okija, on the same Saturday, during the Obi Jackson Foundation food distribution or rice distribution to the people. 22 were confirmed dead and many injured. And therefore, we have concluded as in Kolom Adam that there is poverty everywhere in Nigeria, including in Biafra land, for those who are saying because the Biafrans are not protesting, the eastern part of Nigeria are not protesting, that there's no poverty there. There are poverty in Biafra land, just like you have poverty in the west and in the north. And the most heartbreaking about the one in Biafra land in Okija is that adult females were mostly involved. Adults who are supposed to know better. And we are profiling solutions. Learn from previous incidents. We fail to learn from previous incidents because there have been stampedes all over the country before. We should go back and learn from there and learn from this particular one now and take the advice from Kolom Hadum Wisdom University that you should have staging areas, 2 or 3 staging areas whenever you want to share anything to anybody. The police should be involved, heavily involved. Detached from the roads where they are taking bribe, dehumanizing people, extorting our people, to do the job, community job they're supposed to be doing. And government should distribute the wealth by having where they share locations where they share food across the country from beginning of the year to the end of the year. People shouldn't be hungry in Nigeria. Government should be able to be feeding everybody. Introduce social safety nets, give money to poor families for food and medical care and transportation on a weekly basis, if not daily or monthly basis. Share money to graduates who are looking for jobs, who are unemployed, so that this type of avoidable killings, loss of our lives will be avoided in Africa. As we are presenting this lecture for Nigeria, other African countries should follow the advice profiled in this lecture for the benefit of Africa and all of us. And with this, we shall be bringing today's lecture to an end. But before we end it, we must advise you to dismantle all the colonial boundaries in Africa. If we, Africans, cannot go to Europe or another place and say, you are not one country, why should we continue to allow that to be what we have in our land? Colonial boundaries is the genesis of poverty, of killings, of wars, of migration in Africa, and should be stopped right away. And with this, we shall be bringing today's lecture to an end. Thank you very much for joining me, and have a great day.